Hello.
We did it. We made it. Here we are.
Sorry, crazy day today. Some cool stuff going on though. But we're here.
We are here for another stream.
Yeah.
I'm still Cory. That's still Jay.
I think so. Last time I checked.
Last time we checked. Yes. So welcome. Gosh, what do I want to talk about? Well, I'm just going to get into it because I think this one's going to be, I don't even know. This one's going to be weird. Today, I'm going to revisit something I made on the stream a while back. It was actually the stream where we first tested out our NDI audio setup.
Yeah.
Audio video setup. So I was realizing that was why my master volume on this project was cranked down to -20 for some weird reason. But this was a song that I made on the stream because we had the idea of doing a bootleg remix as a project. And so a bootleg remix being, normally when you remix a song, the producer or artist, whoever, gives you access to the components of the song. Why did I just lose audio? Did that happen at your end or my end, Jay? Oh, there you go.
I think it was me. I'm just taking my jacket off because this wire keeps rubbing up against the zipper and it bugs me.
Okay.
Hold on one second.
All right. Okay, that's just losing your audio. Got it. So normally when you remix something, you get access to the components of the thing so you can mix them together. That's what mixing is, right? You take the separate elements of the song, you balance them, you make them sit all nice and do their job together. But sometimes we really want to remix a song and we don't know the artist or can't get access to the stems or the multi-tracks. And we want to remix anyway. So we do what's called a bootleg remix, which is you just take the dang song and chop it up and do the best you can with it. This works best in if you get sampling a piece of a song, like intros, outros, or breakdowns work really well for that kind of thing. So that's what I did on the stream. I picked a song, I believe this is the intro music from Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, according to this file name. Yeah, so we chose that because you can play video game music on streaming.
Yeah, it's one of the few. Yeah, it's a good workaround because obviously if you're streaming game content, I think that there's it's a weird gray area, but most of the time you should be pretty good to. Sure.
We at least have not gotten any. Our streams have not been flagged. We had a stream get flagged the other day.
Oh yeah.
It was interesting. A live improvised music performance got flagged for containing somebody's original composition. So I was not aware of this. So with music composition, or if the intellectual property of music recording, I've said this so many times, but I'm gonna say it again. There are two IPs involved. There is the intellectual property of the song, like how the song goes, and then there is like the melody, the chords, the lyrics, all that stuff, whatever. And then there is the recording, like how that, the actual file or the master, the recording of that song. And there can be multiple recordings of a composition, and so I could write a song and I could record it and I could have both of those rights. Or I could write a song and someone else can record it. So they have the right to their own recording, but not, I reserve the rights to my own music. So normally when these algorithms on YouTube are taking down stuff, they're just listening to audio files and checking out for that IP. I think that's called the mechanical property. The royalties are like mechanical royalties when they use your actual recording. Yeah, what do they call it?
Let's see. We can.
Jay's pulling up the
I don't know how well
band.
to see it.
But anyways, we were fascinated by this because it did not. It's a music claim, but it doesn't say that the song is being played. It says that the video uses this song's melody, which means that the algorithm has now gotten smart enough that it is.
Yeah,
yes,
the melody is the words and music written by the songwriters and composers.
These rights are managed by different rights holders in each country and are separate from the rights associated with the recordings of the song. So the algorithm has now gotten so advanced that it is listening to your songs and thinking about, does this sound like someone else's tune? Not just like, is this someone else's recording? But just like, this melody sounds familiar. Let me think about every song that's ever been recorded and see if I can come up with a match. This sort of thing makes me very nervous because all music is derivative. There are only 12 notes in Western music and only 7 notes in a scale in Western music. Mm-hmm. Only 6 of those notes get used to make chords commonly.
I'm really surprised that like most of our other music-centric ones don't end up getting copyright claim though. Like, I mean, we've had a lot in the past few weeks, and like none of this this other live stream we did got copyright claimed as well.
Which
for
one?
the same reason.
Which one was that?
This is the
Libby's party.
Libby's party, yeah. For the same reason got copyright claimed in a different spot for, I guess we didn't have live. Was there live music there?
There was some live music. I'd be curious to know what part of the thing it was.
Yeah. So it does give you a time, so you can like go back and watch it and select what. Oh, okay. So it was during this performance.
Yes, and that makes perfect sense. So Loretta was using pre-record. Wait, so what does it say? It says video uses this song's melody.
Same, yeah.
That's wrong. This is like this reason. This one was blacklisted because we're playing the straight up recording.
So maybe it just says the melody regardless of if it's.
I mean, I would just. It just really seems like.
The nice thing is that a lot of times, like, you just can't monetize those videos, so it's not a huge deal. We're on our YouTube video, for instance, we're not monetizing anything, so it doesn't. They don't just take it down, and you don't get a strike or anything. They're just like, oh, you just can't make money from this one. So I think unless it's really egregious and you like straight up just upload someone else's song, then I think you're pretty much good for the most part. I mean, I've uploaded a lot of YouTube videos and never once have I got it like so bad that they give you a strike on your channel.
Yeah, it's pretty severe.
So
well, yeah, totally. I'm kind of surprised we've never gotten claimed because I definitely like play some things occasionally in here that are rather generic, like.
Right, that are probably in some other song. It's interesting to look through. Yeah, we've got none on a lot of these.
That's a bit, that.
This one did. This was the teaser trailer, for, I believe this was for Out of Order. I believe student film. So you can play. It's really nice. Yeah, it's for the teaser trailer.
And was it that they like used someone else's tune in the trailer?
Yeah, and when it shows you the name of it, I guess.
Yeah.
So here's the name of that content that was used. So
notice, okay, so
it shows you.
The claim type, it has a different icon.
Okay, it is like a little music note
instead of a music note on a page.
Ah.
So I think it is differentiating those two kinds of IP.
Because if it knows, it will tell you exactly what the song is.
Well, it's weird.
And who the copyright owner is.
Well, it told us about the other one too, but it had like a different claim type. Audio, what did it say when you hovered over that note?
This one here?
Yeah. No, the music note. Audio claim. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Audio claim.
So different than the melody claim.
Mm-hmm. So I guess then the copyright owners set a certain action, I would assume. And then they say, oh, if somebody uploads this, what happens to the video or something?
So okay, is this the audio that I used when we remixed it?
I don't think so. No. I actually can't hear it right now.
I'm pretty sure I did, because I'm pretty sure we were under the impression this was original music.
Interesting. I'll have to ask, but
I've been meaning to ask them.
Yeah. Well, it picked up on something, so.
Well, cool. We may have to do a second stream on this subject then, because I want to put that track out too. So the reason we're here and the reason we're talking about copyright is because I want to release music. And I want to release some of this music that I've made on the stream because I had fun making it, and I've edited some of it to be much better than it was, even when you heard it. Dude, okay, I'm tripping too hard though. What is that song called? And we're gonna look it up right now.
Okay.
We're gonna pull it up.
Okay. Let's see. Go back to live. That was a while ago. And look how many live streams we've done.
We're doing great.
Look at us.
We're doing great. We're doing great. Oh, we're live right now.
There we are.
Wow.
Where's it at?
Out of order. Are these in order?
There it is. So if I click on the copyright claim, see the details.
Send show forgiveness.
Let me see if I can make it so I can hear it here. Yeah, we're gonna play it live right now and have everybody have it strike this video.
This doesn't sound like the same thing.
That's it. It is. It is. But it's probably...
That doesn't sound like the thing I used.
Yeah, I think you used a different thing. Could have been
That's
for
good.
a different trailer. That is it, though. I can hear it here, but...
Yeah, if you recall, here I'm gonna just pull up in this thing because this is actually lives in the same folder as this other project that I just opened. I was just looking at it earlier, thinking about that. Gosh, we're getting so far off topic here.
I mean, it's all kind of the same. Like, if you're, if you were to upload, you think you would get striked if you uploaded this music to YouTube, like as it is?
Well, it's not YouTube I'm worried about.
Right. Are there more?
But
other
also, yes, I do, because it's Nintendo, and they're so litigious. But I'm more concerned about not any specific platform, but my music distributor, because so I use DistroKid. There's a bajillion options out there. DistroKid isn't necessarily the best one. It's just the one that I've landed on. So they are the ones who I send them my music, and they distribute my music to platforms. So that's why you can tag my songs in Instagram stories and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Not that anyone has ever done that, I don't think, but you can if you besides
That's
me.
cool.
But you can.
So you can like search for it and,
Yeah.
and make like a reel of it or something too.
Yeah, or I think so. I guess I don't know about the real thing, but in this you can you can add music to your stories. You can totally add my songs now. I mean, and also it's everywhere. It's like it's in like 100 some platforms. It's like I think it's on TikTok. Like I think it's all over the place.
That's pretty nice that they just handle that for you.
Yeah,
So
I mean, what a
convenient.
pain in the butt. Like, can you
Right.
imagine trying to find contact every outlet as an individual?
Yeah.
But you can't distribute stuff that you can't distribute, and they, you check a box that says I have the rights to this thing.
What do they do if you don't?
They may pull the song. They
Yeah.
may cancel your account and pull all of your songs.
Wow.
I mean, it's a violation of their terms of service.
Right.
It's a federal crime, I think. Copyright infringement is a crime.
Yeah.
So I'm mostly concerned about staying on the up and up with my distributor. I could put this stuff on SoundCloud and it wouldn't be a big deal. It just depends on how much somebody cares. But when I'm entering a business agreement and rather than just throwing it online and hoping nobody really worries about it,
Right.
You got to be professional, and probably should be professional all the time. But this is why a lot of artists have a lot of content on SoundCloud that isn't on Spotify.
Really? That's a
Oh yeah.
pretty typical thing.
Oh yeah. Lots of artists.
So what is it about the SoundCloud that they don't have to worry about that?
It's not monetized.
Okay, so
And it's
you put it up there and it's just there.
And it's less aggressive. I mean, I'm sure I bet if you started uploading other people's songs, it would be different. But I have not known people to have bad experiences with uploading stuff to SoundCloud like that.
I see.
A really great example is rapping over an existing beat. Mm-hmm. You could totally throw that stuff on SoundCloud, no problem. But if you throw it on YouTube, sometimes it gets copyright stricken. You remember when Dejanay had her video?
Oh, yeah.
Not just demonetized, but removed.
See, that's the thing. I think if it's a particular some more copyright holders will I think they set the level of severity as far as what happens to the videos that are struck.
That makes sense. And so that song was it was the beat from Taste by Tyga, if I remember correctly, which just everyone rapped on that beat. For there were a couple years here where people kept bringing that beat in here. I heard it so many times, but yeah, you know, that's like a major label release, and yeah, major labels are very protective of their IP.
Yeah. Makes sense. I mean, it's funny that it's I guess it's just easier to do with I mean, you could get copyright striked with content too, like visual content, but it's like most of the time it's interesting cuz like I feel like I could take a movie. I mean, I wouldn't I guess uploading the whole movie versus like okay, I'm doing a video essay on, I'm doing a video essay on Seven Samurai, and like most of it, I'm just like talking over parts of the film and like cutting it together. I feel like you probably wouldn't get. I couldn't picture it being like.
That sounds like yeah, that sounds like fair use to me.
Yeah.
Like you could, like if you can find video essays on musical subjects, on YouTube for sure.
Yeah. So what if you wanted to do that with a song, like reviewed a song? It's like a different kind of a gray area then, huh? Because you can't like just sit there and listen to it.
You can't play it out, I don't think.
Right.
I think you basically you can't provide an alternative like way for people to access it, like that goes around,
Right.
So like like you can't play the whole movie, or like you can't show the whole movie. You probably couldn't show the whole movie in chunks either, maybe, or at least like not without like, cropping it to be part of your image and like having something else going on. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
like it has to be like. So like fair use has to be like either like significantly transformed or like criticism or parody, basically. Like like so you can like we could like listen to the song or bits of a song and talk about it maybe. I would be down to just try doing these things and see what happened. Like like pick a major label release with a very
well, like we had that one stream where we did have like we were remixing a song that was a fairly popular one. And one time we had like I just cut out all the parts that played the song for more than a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And the nice thing with YouTube is it has it set up where you could just hit the button. It's like, oh, do you want to cut all the parts out that are using this thing? And like with the streams, they're 2 hours. Like I don't mind cutting a few minutes, and then it just jumps, and then you're like, oh, what happened? But a lot of times, if you're going back and watching a 2-hour stream, it's there's at least with that, it's it's not like cutting out an important piece or something. You can
totally.
But it's interesting. At least they give you some like tools to counteract it, or and YouTube's got a bunch of like music for YouTube list that you can use, and you guys probably have heard these songs a million times. But I think they update it quite frequently and like add some new stuff. And there's some tracks on there that I like that I would throw in. And also, like, have you ever used Free Music Archive before, Corey?
No.
It's another one that you can. There's a lot of stuff on there, but you can find some pretty decent stuff. I have a few artists that I go to regularly to check to see if they've uploaded anything new, that I really like to use in my own personal work. Whenever I get around to doing that sort of stuff, that's pretty cool. Like Free Music Archive, I feel like is a good one. You got to dig through quite a bit, but you can find stuff. And I would, there's resources out there for copyright free stuff. And of course, you can always learn to make your own too. Which is what we're doing here. We're here to show you
what we're here to do is how to show you how if you become extremely attached to someone else's music, how do you use it without running afoul of copyright?
Well, should we let you get to it then, since we've been talking for?
Sure. I was just noticing. I just searched myself on YouTube, and all of my everything I've uploaded through DistroKid has been uploaded to YouTube. Through if you've ever seen these, if you ever looked for a song that says like artist-topic, search Bumblecrow.
Artist-topic. What's it?
Yeah, you'll.
I gotta go back to.
Oh right, you can pull up my screen. I got it.
Okay, let's switch to Corey's screen here.
Oh, it's playing.
Is it gonna copyright claim your own music?
Yeah, probably.
That's funny. So then you could. What about that? Like we could definitely contend it. Like you are the owner of it. So like, could you just say like prove on YouTube that you own it?
That's an interesting one. I think so. I think you'd have to like. I don't know how you do that, but I think I have the rights. This is my song.
Yeah. So in that case,
take that, YouTube. I made this.
So what is it? Oh yeah.
So Bumble Crow Topic, right?
Oh, it's
so these
is it
are
a playlist on that channel, or
it's like an auto-generated channel by the distributor. So like, and then if you check out like the
oh, it's probably for YouTube Music, huh?
Yes.
They have to have
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, so it interfaces with regular YouTube in this way, Bumblecrow-topic. So I can still have a Bumblecrow channel that's separate from this.
Right. But the topic is like that indicates that it's
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Auto-generated by YouTube. Hey.
Yeah, provided to YouTube by DistroKid.
Cool.
Yes.
They turn off the comments for you too, so nobody can
Yep.
nobody can bash your music.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, exactly. It's not. It's like not. It's just like a. It's a weird. It's like it's from YouTube Music, but it's kind of a weird overlay on this thing.
Right. Interesting.
Also, just as a quick aside before we get started, I think it's really funny how when you see people looking at YouTube, you can see their like just recommendations, which tells you a lot about people. So I don't know what you can learn about me from. I thought this was Joe Rogan, but it is not.
You got that Key and Peele skit on there. That's.
Is this country song racist?
Have you seen that one?
No, I have not. I have not.
Oh man.
Zelda and Chill.
Oh no.
The bosses of Cuphead ranked from worst. I have a feeling I know why I have this in my results. This is from Alton.
Oh yeah.
Comedy Bang Bang. Sophie.
I have the bad habit of like watching YouTube like camera reviews on the MARZ channel, and then so everybody, it's all like, oh, what's the best Blackmagic camera or the best Sony camera, and you get a bunch of reviews, and then of course we're subscribed to a lot of our students too, so we get recommendations based on what our students are uploading or watching or anything like that.
Totally.
So.
Anyways.
Yeah.
YouTubes. So, okay. I did want to do a thing. I have a specific idea here. I made this tune. It's pretty short. We can listen to it, and you can hear exactly why it has a problem. This very first thing is a crime.
There it was, huh?
There it was. So I don't know. I kind of like this one. I don't know why. Like it's fun, but it's hugely problematic. It's like I said, it's illegal. So I'm trying to release legal music because I want to distribute it. I don't know why. Vanity. No need to speculate. So I'm just gonna resize this because it's got a little cramped from our last session. Cool. So problem areas are these purple guys. These are the samples.
Can you color code stuff like that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's convenient.
Totally. The clips can be independently color coded from their channels and vice versa. And you can pick from it's weirdly limited color palette. I don't know why you can't just RGB it, but whatever. Okay, so the thing that's going to be the real challenge, and like hopefully we can make some progress on this within the time we have left on the stream, is that like there's a ton going on within each of these things, and then I chopped them up. So like, man, I shouldn't have done that. I have regrets here. But maybe let's solo the things that we got to replace, and we'll go from there. So this is all drum group down here. This is a unused. I'm gonna go. Opening old sessions is always funny. Like here's an empty audio track in the middle of my arrangement for no reason. Just never got around to deleting it out of the, like you just start working, you never get around to deleting stuff.
Oh man, the Blender with the keyframes is like that. You just have tons and tons of extra keyframes you do not need, and it's a pain in the butt to manage them all.
Totally. So here's the first problem. Oh man.
That music kind of. You ever heard of the game Terraria? That PC game.
Everyone's talking to me about Terraria lately.
Yeah, it's that music's very. It's got a similar aesthetic to it, like the.
Curious who's the same composer.
It's I mean, I guess Terraria was I'm pretty sure it was a indie game studio, so they may have taken inspiration from the Pokemon music.
Possibly.
But it's definitely has a very similar like tone to it with the kind of the bells and stuff. And
this is pretty like what I'm hearing is pretty like traditional orchestral instrumentation. I guess we should talk about that, right? What are we hearing in here? Like I said, it's really complicated, but there's a ton going on, and it's not just there's like sound effects too. It's, oh god, what a mess. This is so much. I kind of like underestimated how much work this was going to be. Okay, so in this we should start doing this now though, because I need to get out my tools, right? Like I am going to replace every single one of these sounds with something else. So we need to get out instruments that accomplish those same things. So I hear strings. So I'm going to get out, luckily, one of the new things in Live 11 Suite is a bunch of rad new string, like in orchestral instruments. So I want So I hear there's at least two instruments there. There's one that goes do 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 do, and one that goes do 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 do. You hear that? Boop boop boop. So we need at least like two parts. We could probably accomplish that with just one track that is polyphonic. But we'll see if the effect we're looking for is pizzicato. But we'll see what our, let's just search for pits and see what we get. Because we have a few different options for orchestral strings, actually. I feel like those are a little, sound too chambery to me. What about essential orchestra? Is that better than string quartet? Yeah, no, we'll go with that. So let's just see if we can get at this. So I don't even know what key we're in. Let's find out. Did I set key? Sometimes I set the key. I did not. So key analysis time. I gotta find some MIDI notes. Cool. Well, we're in the key of C, so that's easy. How did I know? I'll never tell. I'm looking at the collection of notes here, and I hear this. I can tell that this is a 4-5-6-3 chord progression, and F is F, G, and A are 4, 5, 6, and E is 3 of key C. Yep, there it is. So.
I like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Some nice I know we're gonna go back to Breath of the Wild again, but some nice ambient the little noises it does sometimes you know what it really reminds me of is you played the Chibi Robo games.
What?
It's called Chibi Robo. It's like a little tiny robot who cleans and stuff. They're old GameCube games. But every time he'd walk, his little footsteps, he would make noises like that. So as he walks on the floor, he would make like little...
So write something like that, like a...
There you go.
I think those are the notes. Weird, my pads aren't lighting up. That's curious.
No lights on the pads.
There they go. Buggy bugs. So, right? Something like that. There's a lot of other things going on.
This little guy right here. Never seen him before?
Nope.
Yeah. It's an old GameCube game. But he's got that, he sounds just like that when he walks around.
Little pizzicato.
Yeah.
Oh, there. It's harmonized. That's why it's instant, right? That's the part.
There you go.
So cool. I don't know how I want to enter that because I'm not gonna be able to like play it that fast. But I'll just try because it's funny. This tempo is just so blazing fast. But here we go. Okay. How did I do?
Can you play it slower and then speed it up?
Yeah, sure. But why? Why bother? Sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's it.
Dang.
All right. Oh, man. Okay, so, oh, God. All right. The other things I hear, just right off the bat, the bell chimes or the chime tree, bell tree. What do you call that thing? Oliver tree?
I don't know.
We were just listening to a bunch of him earlier. Osho brought Oliver Tree as a reference track.
Oh, nice.
But the thing I'm looking for is, I believe it's called the bell tree. It's a thing in classical music. You will know the sound instantly if this is what it's actually called. This thing. So I think this one might cover some of that territory. This sample, like definitely like cutting in later kind of energy. That's a way weird, like way more of like cursed sounding. I think. Like, it kind of like just goes into like this creepazoid place. Oh, it's warped. That's probably why it sounds so wackadoo. We're getting somewhere though.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty pleased with that already. It's definitely like missing some of the charm of the character of the previous thing, you know. I can't figure out what to do with this cable tonight for some reason.
Yeah, they kind of annoy me. They're really like stiff, and the springy part of it's really like.
It's like it's just a heavy
duty cable.
Yeah, dude. Ugh. I don't like. Yeah, I don't like coiled headphone cables anymore. I'm just over it. I'm completely over it, man. My 650s don't have one, and it's great. It's just like the cable goes, and it doesn't like drag your head down. It's like it just goes where you want it to go. Okay, so we got our little bell tree. It's definitely these violins are missing some of the character of the original, but I'm more concerned about trying to get the part because then we can always change the tone or whatever later. So there's definitely a sound of running water being faded in underneath this. So let's get that too. Remember, I gotta get every part.
So is recreating it not then? I mean, they won't get you for the melody of it at all, or?
Oh, they will. So we have to change that.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta change the melody. I I'm just kidding.
Getting a bass line.
I didn't get to that part. We got to change the melody. Yeah, so remember, 2 IPs. There's the recording and the composition. So like, you can like, this is like, it's so close to being a non-melody though, that like, I don't know. But because this is a central part of my composition, I probably can't keep it like this, in good faith. Probably I could get away with it, but I don't know. If I get too close to the original, they'll just think I'm sampling it though. Okay, so we have a high held violin. It sounds like a section, not a single instrument. So we'll go back into our packs. Get out the orchestral, where is it? What the heck is it called? A string quartet by Spitfire Audio. All in one.
I always love strings. I think that's one of my favorite.
They're really incredible instruments. They're super special. I'm a stringed instrument player, but the thing about bowed strings is that you have constant and continuous control over the timbre and volume for the entire length of the note. Whereas guitar, you pluck it and you can like stop it early or like mute it, but you know, like violins or like horns, you can swell. You can start a note and then have the note end louder than you started. You just can't do that on a guitar.
Wow.
So
yeah. One of those bucket list things that I always wanted to learn, some kind of string instrument like that, like a violin or something.
That doesn't loop very well. Let's try and find a different one. I don't know what these things are, but I haven't used any of these MPE, multi polyphonic expression. That doesn't feel very expressive. I need one that takes pressure. That's what it is. Pressure sensitive controller. But that's super weird sounding, not what I want. God, I thought this would be easier. So let's get like, I want the violin section legato. Maybe this will do it for us. God, you can hear so much bow noise. You hear that? Checking our. Yeah, we're in the ballpark. That you know, you're hearing that like gnarly like process, that high note there has like an edge on it. I think it's because of just like the mastering of the whole thing. There's our note though. So it kicks in here, right? I'm gonna play along real quick. Yeah, something like that. And it lasts all the way to the end, and there's a lower note comes in there pretty promptly too. It's either another low G or like something. Is that a horn, do you think? Yeah.
Yep.
So what are these instruments? That sounds to me like a bassoon and maybe double bass.
Double bass.
Yeah, that's another word for it. There's a bunch of different terms for that instrument. The upright bass.
Oh, okay.
The double bass. Yeah, I don't really know why. Why it's not just called a bass. Anyways, so there's also a horns that in this pack. Where did they go? I forget what it's called. The brass quartet. Is that the pitch? Yep. Cool, capture that. Such a simple little task here. So then like, you know, part of I think the charm of what's going on in the original thing is how things are so choppy. You know, like, you know, like it just like cuts hard and jumps back to the beginning of the sample. So what I'm probably gonna do is try and make it sound like the original sample. Probably shouldn't play too much of that. Because that's what I've sliced. So, but I really only utilized like the first. I don't think I ever got any further than like the first like 4 bars of it. So that's cool. So I can just like, you know, this will essentially be. I think this is how I'm going to approach this, Jay. This is a smart thing to do. Because like I want to chop it up and I want it to get all weird. I'm going to create something that sounds a lot like this, but not quite, and then I'll chop that up.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to get there on this stream yet, though. Because I think, like, I'm trying to be smart about my workflow here, because I want to do this where I have my... Why is this so wobbly tonight? I want to do...
Everything's out to get you.
My God, dude. Because I want to do this, like, choppy thing, and I'll probably want to process it so it sounds kind of like a thing, and so I want to like replace the other parts too. So I'm going to get through and do all the replacing, and then we'll just see how far we get. So onward with the thoughts. I didn't find any water sound. I did like that idea. So we can go into our samples. I just know in these guys in this field recording zone have some water recordings that I think will be appropriate. I have to pee. Okay, let's just see like, let's see how it's being treated in this recording. It does seem like it's just kind of fading in as a bed. Not necessarily from silence though. So if you want to, like normally in Ableton, if you want to fade a audio clip, you grab it here, but that comes from silence. If only you could drag this up and start a fade somewhere other than 0, that'd be really convenient. But you can do that. There's another option. I'll make sure this isn't warped, because why? So you can accomplish that in the envelope section of the clip. If you go to clip gain envelope here, does it need to be warped in order to have a clip gain envelope? I guess so. Okay. Whatever. Now, since I warped it and unwarped it, it should now play back at its default pace and not actually change how it sounds at all. If we're concerned, we can flip it to repitch, but I don't think it'll matter. So here, we can get into the clip gain envelope. Normally when we're automating stuff, we're changing a value. Like there's a knob somewhere that we're turning. This is not that. This is actually maybe the only place that I can think of in the program that works this way. There's maybe others, but this is the clip's volume as a percentage of whatever the value you've selected is. So you can only turn it down, but you can turn it down any amount. So this allows us to do, say, instead of first off, it allows us to do linear fades instead of those kind of logarithmic shapes that we get from the fade over here. Even though, I guess since we're doing percentages of a logarithmic scale, this probably comes out logarithmic anyways. So I don't. Who knows if how accurate this representation of that curve is? I don't know. There's a whole weird thing with audio and curves I know you know we were talking about like curving your straight automation.
Right.
Well, in audio, most of the things we work with are logarithmic instead of linear, so they're inherently curved, if that makes sense. You know, like there's a curve to the actual adjustment itself. Like when you adjust a channel fader here, like the distance, like you can see like these are all distances of 6. But like
Gets more as you go further down.
yeah, the distance from minus 60 to minus, well, it just jumps straight. Minus 70 is minus infinity, I guess. That's fascinating, actually. I didn't really think about that. It's gonna keep me up at night.
But by the time it's that quiet, I mean, it's like
It's. I mean, yeah, it's effectively like.
Yeah.
Like, but I also think that's just like it's like this is again kind of an approximation, you know, like there's an infinite amount of volume between minus 70 and minus infinity. So.
that's true.
Yeah, it's anyways. So oh god. Okay, so the whole reason I'm in here is because you can do this. You can start your fade somewhere other than 0. So if you'll remember, the thing that was fun about this stream, Jay, is that I made my instrumental is switches between 7/4 and 4/4.
Okay.
So this is or something like that. Is it 7/4? Or I guess it's like a long count of 7. It kind of just drops a beat, basically. So I'm really just trying to create something that's this long.
Man, that's pretty close.
Ain't rocket science.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know, like this, like it's in the key of C. It's like basic orchestral sounds playing like basic major key melodies, not rocket science. But you know, I say that, but I've also like I went to music school and like I've spent a lot of time listening to a note and then trying to play that note. It's a skill that you need to practice independently of other things if you want to be able to do it. I'm not convinced that's a bass down below, but it's something. But let's find a bassoon because I think that's what we need. This is my sister's instrument. Well, not like literally, but the instrument that she plays. Is there woodwinds or winds? How do like? Oh man. Okay. Bassoon. Cool. I'm just curious. I haven't used these in a minute.
It's an interesting one.
I can just listen to that all day. So weird. So what sounds the most like this? I think we want this solo. We'll try that first. Oh, I'm like, why is this so weird? So I'm getting at the samples, not the... Let's try the whole section, actually. But what's the part? But da 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 da. D C B A G. Right? Yeah. But lower. Oh, okay, that's why it's being so weird. Right? But it's gonna be like, right? wonder if they revive. So that's, I need a clip that's a little longer than that. What note? Where are you? And then I need a little more. Oh, not a loop.
So what are the new push the new pushes have that this old one doesn't?
This is the new one.
Oh, this is okay.
This is the new one, yeah. So
Okay.
the main difference over this versus the old ones that we have here at MARZ is the OLED screen.
Okay.
And they actually rearranged the layout, and like I think the layout makes way more sense on this one.
So you're talking that Ableton was doing they were giving out these ones, huh? Because we got some.
They are now giving these out to educational programs, yeah. So we should totally ask. The pads are also loads better, and the color consistency of the LEDs, like you can. I don't know if you can really tell on the stream that these white pads aren't all exactly the same. Like they're close enough that it doesn't really like bother me. But if you pull out one of those other ones and you check it out, like they're like sometimes it's borderline confusing.
Really?
Because they look like different colors. Like I don't know. Like this one here looks a little paler than the rest of them.
Yeah, let's see a full screen.
And like there's like this one's kind of bright or like a little like more saturated. I mean, it's all kind of a crapshoot with like the flicker here, but I feel like these ones here are a little more saturated to my eye than like these ones here. Like it kind of looks that way on camera to me too. I mean, it's really slight. Like what so nitpicky, but
it's really interesting to me that we're picking up a flicker. I would imagine these would be, I guess LED can still have like a refresh rate to it.
Yeah.
If it's like constantly.
Oh yeah, that's how all LEDs are.
Yeah.
And like OLEDs too. There's a refresh rate. Like actually, like there's been a bunch of people complaining about the new iPhones that it gives them terrible headaches.
Oh really?
There are a small minority of people, but like there's some folks like I've heard about I've seen them talking on Reddit or whatever, and like they like returned to their phone.
Yeah.
Because they gave them terrible headaches because of the flicker.
Interesting.
It's just like if like the cameras like the camera's like frame rate is just perfectly out of sync in the right way with this to capture it. I imagine there's something going on in those people's optical processing that's the same way for them,
Wow. Huh.
Something weird in there, something weird in your brain. So let's see how well this did. I think this instrument doesn't have like enough of an attack. What are you doing? Well, first of all, I didn't do it right. That probably would have helped too. Bum, 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 bum. Not what I was going for. I think I'm hearing clarinets actually. There you go. Play the notes out loud. Actually, maybe it's a layer. I don't know. This is the fun thing about classical music, or like orchestral composition, is that like you just like layer things a lot. So I'm gonna have these clarinets play the same part up and up. There we go. That sounds more like it. But I want this staccato, yeah. Yep. Pretty close, huh? So we need that bass. This is gonna be good. Essential Orchestra double bass. I need pizzicato bass though. Yas. Boom, 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 boom. Right? I think that's it. Boom, 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 boom. Coming together. It's just so. I like this activity. This is fun. Why does? Oh yeah, this thing automatically goes into D&D mode for HDMI outputs, but not.
Oh yeah.
Not NDI. So these. Oh yeah, it's because it's a velocity issue. I kind of like. I kind of work with so many weird sounds, and so like rarely actual instrument like sounds like this that like I kind of like. You know, these are really meticulously multi-sampled, some of them, and like they're pretty dynamic, right? So that's like feels a little overblown there. So you can kind of like drop it, and you should get a change in timbre too. So notice this, yeah, you can hear like the reeds buzzing in this top layer here.
That sounds like a very medieval instrument right there.
It is. Double reeds are one of the older instruments, so it's absolutely a medieval instrument for sure. Most of these instruments have existed since around that time, in some form or another.
That's always really interesting to me, the like history of how we came to have certain instruments from different parts of the world, and what they've kind of how they've either stayed the same over centuries, or changed to be, like how far the pianos come from, what it was originally to all the ways we use them now is pretty cool stuff.
Totally.
I'd be interested in a history, in a like instrument history.
We could do that on the stream. That'd be cool.
Class.
Yeah. We could totally do that. Piano is one of the older ones, or I'm sorry, one of the newer instruments. Piano is actually a modern engineering marvel, and they require steel. Pretty much like a modern grand piano has a steel frame. It's basically like it's a giant steel harp with a wooden box built around it.
Wow.
Yeah. So like you like and the weight, the tension of all the strings means that old pianos we'll see. I don't know if modern pianos will fare better, but like old pianos collapsed under their own weight. So like there aren't a lot of old pianos.
Right.
There are old predecessors to the piano, like the harpsichord, that have different mechanisms or different stringing or tension functionalities. Dude, yeah, we should totally do this. I got into this actually like when I was doing remote teaching in juvenile hall over the Demi. We totally got into this.
Interesting.
It was really fun. It was super interesting.
Yeah, we should do a talk show style one here.
Yeah. Dude, yeah. I love that. We're pretty close. So here's what I got. I think that horn comes in a little earlier. Comes in like right there. We're not quite getting to the part of like, what do I do about this? Because now I think I might just get in trouble for having sampled it again. It's pretty freaking close.
Yeah.
Let's, but I think I would like to transform these, but I think I may want to get the other ones first. Look how different in these locations where it thinks my cursor is versus where it actually is. That's so funny.
Yeah, this is really bizarre.
Yeah, this big one is where my cursor is actually on my screen, and for some reason NDI is convinced
that it's over there.
Yeah, it's on the far right side of my screen now, and now it's on the far left.
Yeah, I wonder what that's all about.
It's like letterboxed or something. Like, yeah, that's the upper right corner of my screen. Anyways,
That's kind of cool.
it's gonna be hard to make this exactly like this, so we'll see how this goes. Ba-da-da. So cool. I really recontextualized this in the song. It's got this kind of like rising, but like the bass that I added makes it feel totally different. You know, and the melody on top, like it's pretty transformative. So I think what we need, we got a crash cymbal up top. Let's get an orchestral. Do we have orchestral crash? Orchestral percussion. Suspended cymbal. I'll take that. Oh, is this a drum rack? No. I was hoping it would be. This is the weirdest instrument. I don't understand what's going on here. It's only like C, D, and E have notes mapped to them. Like I don't understand how it's deciding what has a mapping. Like F, C, D, E play, F doesn't. It's like these two octaves have the same. I don't understand. And I'm not going to. I think. All I know is I want it to do this. God, I love capture. It's so convenient. Yep. Capturing it changed my tempo. So, what instrument is that? It's a flute. Where is my flutes? This is an instrument I never use for some reason.
I was just reading a little bit of an article on B&H about why the lights flicker and why certain ones do and don't, and what the best ones to use are. And it's interesting. I didn't realize that it depended on whether you're using DC or AC current. So even if there are LED lights used in the push, for example, is it AC powered or is it bus powered?
I am running on AC power now. I can unplug it if you want to see the difference.
Oh, does it still work when it's?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, does it have a battery on it?
No, it runs on bus power.
Oh, let's see if it does something different.
Well, it gets darker.
I'm curious.
Yeah, pull it up.
So
here's bus powered.
Hold on, let me full screen it here. Okay.
Yeah, so this is a cool thing about I appreciate that about this. Like not every piece of hardware works this way.
That's nice.
It gives you options, but you'll see why I prefer to bring my power supply.
So it's much dimmer, but I definitely can still see the flicker on it.
Yeah, but yeah, it's from here, like from where I'm sitting here on the table, it actually looks darker than it looks on the screen right now. Like this is unreadable to me. Like I mean I can if I squint, but like why would I? Like look, the camera has to adjust.
Right.
Like because it like puts out so much light.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's nice that it gives you the option, but yeah, I wonder if I don't know what a USB power supply is considered if it's a AC? I would imagine it's probably an AC current.
I don't know, man. I think it might be DC. Like I think,
Yeah?
'cause I think that's the deal about these bricks is that they're converting AC power to DC.
Yeah.
I think it's DC, man. I think USB. Yeah, because like a lot of times, like on those like USB power bricks, they say like DC voltage.
Right.
I'm pretty confident, but I am a musician, not an electrical engineer.
Yeah, neither am I. So I'm just like curious because it doesn't seem like we used to have that problem in the old building. I bet you we'd have that problem if we turned the fluorescent lights on in here. I mean, they flicker. You can see them with your eyes, because those are notorious for producing a flicker. But the old building, like I used to always have problems because it would you would see the flicker run across the screen, even if you weren't looking at the light. Like you could see it kind of banding almost. It's the weirdest thing. Lighting is always a whole nother beast when it comes to video stuff. But these ring lights seem to work pretty good. I haven't tried to aim the camera at them before, so I'm not sure if they would flicker on camera, but I might try that later.
There it is. So again, like I just want to get the kind of general shape of this thing, and then I'm going to transform it probably on another stream because it's taking freaking ever. But I'm going to attempt to play along, I think, because that's probably the fastest way I'm going to pick this up.
You ever picked up I mean, I guess these lights make a lot of sound, but they're talking about like tungsten lights having having kind of a they call it a vibrating or singing sound that can cause problems for sound recordists. Like if you're dimming, they're talking about like dimming a tungsten light.
It's actually the dimming circuit, is my understanding. It's not the like the dimmer circuits are notorious sources of noise for some strange reason. I don't know.
Huh.
Like electrical noise though, like so like
right.
You'll hear it in your it's not like it'll be picked up by a mic. You'll just hear it in your headphones.
Oh, interesting.
Or like it'll just like enter your monitoring somehow, and it may, depending on where it's entering, may make it into recordings or not. Dude, sound. when you have an electrical problem with sound, it is the worst. Like pretty much like you just have to call an electrician and have them rewire your building.
I'm glad we haven't run into that here yet. I mean, this is saying, you dimming a tungsten bulb can lead to the bulb's filament vibrating or singing, creating a problem for the sound recordist. I've never heard of the actual for this tungsten lights.
Well, who used tungsten lights? Where are those used?
That old light, probably, I bet you that the tungsten, like at the studios, the big like stage lights,
like hot stage lights.
Those stage lights kind of thing.
Yeah.
Those are usually tungsten. Those are the ones I think you don't want to like touch with your hands. Yeah. Like the grease on your hands can cause them to overheat and stuff. Those are the real ones that are a pain in the butt, and they get really hot too.
Right. I like transcribing music. It's a fun activity. I think I did it. I think I done did it. That felt pretty good. And I just need one repetition of this because I am looping just 4 bars of this thing. Sure. Why not? Well, that's why not. Oh, what? What the heck happened? Oh, I just screwed it up? Okay, well. Cool. All right. So there's like a ton going on in there. Like there's a lot going on in there. I'm pretty sure I hear pit strings doing kind of an alternating thing. But the main thing I'm going to capture here is like the horns. Because I think that's like the thing that's giving it its feeling. I think we probably find some of those in here. Central. So generally these kind of like soaring parts, that's French horn. If it sounds like Kermit. I reach for the French horn. It may or may not be the right thing. A lot of these instruments have really similar timbres. They're like kind of like shades of color, different from each other. So we'll see.
Zoom just unveiled their F8N Pro multi-track field recorder. You see that?
Yeah, they dropped some feature from. They dropped like 32-bit recording or something from. Or there's some weird feature they gave up from the old one.
Oh, really? It says it's got with the 32-bit float recording.
Or maybe it's one of their smaller ones that doesn't have it.
Oh, I see.
They put out a couple new things recently, I think. So again, check in.
It's another thing with sound, and we were talking about like syncing things up, getting into doing time code stuff. Be interesting. I don't know anything about it.
There it is. So. I think that's it. Yeah. Cool. Wait, what just happened? Did it not actually record me? Oh, there it is. Okay. We got a velocity problem here. I'm going to tighten these up a bit. These are meant to be replications of human performances, so like I'm not super concerned about them being perfect. So I hear like almost like, what do you think's going on in there, Jay? Do you have any thoughts? I have a couple of guesses. It kind of almost sounds to me like it's either like pizzicato strings or like piano in that layer.
Do it one more time.
So here's what I have.
Okay.
And here's what they've got. lot of piano and strings.
Yeah, something little kind of like plucking of something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a pattern, like a picking pattern kind of energy. Yeah. Let's see what we can do. So that's a string. Pizzicato is a playing technique. Do we have a Pitz ensemble already? No. So doing this very silly task of recreating these sounds, I believe I've added 12 tracks and counting. Although I should be smart about this. Like, we do have a pizzicato track. It's a different sound. So like, let's just not be foolish and use that. So, what do we think it's doing?
There you go.
Something like that, you know?
Yeah, that's
like,
it.
I don't know, like, just like, I'm not trying to recreate it exactly, right?
Right, yeah.
I really love how do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. There's like a fun little thing there. Like something like that. Oh, the last one was kind of fun. I'm trying not to get too precious here. I can make it more interesting. There's no one's gonna bother me about that. There's no problem there. I think I kind of like I like how it. I do like how it like. You can see like the velocity becomes like when we're playing these like dynamic instruments, the velocity has so much to do with how this feels, right? So I'm like just like if the note jumps out as loud, but it's not the right part of the phrase, it sounds awkward, bizarre. There's some piano in there, though, I think. I swear it's piano. Really feels like... my scroll wheel on my mouse gets going to some crazy physics sometimes. It's like a really spinny scroll wheel. So like it was like, oops, check that into the exact wrong spot after all that. Jeez, man. Oh boy. Oh boy. I didn't end up using this. Oh my god, I'm trying to play a little tongue twister here. Almost there. I'm gonna do that thing you were suggesting earlier.
What's that? Play it slower and then
Yep.
or play it slower, slower.
I can also overdub it, which maybe I should do. You need an apple?
No, I was just messing with the notebook. Does it sound like eating an apple?
It really does, actually.
Huh.
Wow. Dude, some good Foley going on over here.
Yeah.
That's good.
I wish I was eating an apple. It sounds pretty good.
That's what I was going for.
Nice. So do you have to slow the tempo of the whole thing down to record slower, or can you just do it for that one?
I mean, it's the tempo's global, but
okay.
Or I mean, you know, I could automate it down for that section, but there's no reason to. There's a bunch of like big bowed strings. Oh. I'm like, what's muted? Something's muted. Okay. How does it sound with what we have going on in the track? I'm gonna change it. First change.
Aw. That's why.
Sad.
Yeah, the sad horn. Yeah.
Wah, 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 wah. Feeling good about that. So strings, 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 strings. Do-da-da-da, do-da-da-da, do-da-da-da. That's what I'm missing. Do-da, do-do. That's it. What is that? I think that's it. Probably fine. It feels too like attacky. Let's see if we can find like a brass sound maybe. All right, so here's, great, here I can group all this stuff. Yeah, tracks 14 through 26 now. Oh, I reused that one. there's some like crazy like. Hear that note coming out, which is a really odd choice. But I think I don't know if I want to add any of that stuff. Like it kind of comes across as noise in the original recording. You know, like I mean, it's because it's so like like saturated and weird. And then, but I am like slapping it under. You know, I have like a pretty heavy saw going underneath it too. Like again, here's the original arrangement. Definitely not the same. So what's different about it? It sounds to me like the whole group is darker. I'll do something like this. Closer already. And then let's get nasty. I do love to get nasty.
Not on stream, Cory. Not on stream.
Sorry, it's not that kind of stream. So I feel like I think that's kind of interesting sound. I'm running this all through a guitar pedal, but I need to turn it down because I think it's hitting the pedal too hard. It's not giving me enough control. So I drop everything by about 6 dB. That's a healthy amount. Those are all the pieces that I used, pretty much. So, except for, there's a couple things. I thought about not saying with this. This. I'm personally feel okay about these. These are not, they're not even like, that one's problematic. But like, I could probably sing, like, it's 2 notes.
Yeah.
Probably fine. It's not recognizable. I might replace that with something else later. I'm not gonna like, I don't think I want to bother. Well, whatever, I could.
You could bother.
I could bother. Right? Ba-da.
The shortest MIDI clip you've ever done.
Nah.
Oh,
Pretty
man.
dang short though. And I think that's the like high strings from earlier. So I can probably just pull that same clip. It sounds like the same note.
Oh.
Never know what you're gonna get in one of my tunes. Okay, here's theirs. Here's mine. Oh, you probably want to hear the other track too. Wait, why didn't that make a sound? Really takes a while for that thing to get up to. Let me try that. So remember, I'm going to chop this out. So let's hear how this leads into this, maybe. Yeah, it is the cool. So it's that piece it's just like the tail end of it from earlier. So maybe I can just like glom this onto that, and that'll give me the result I want. So remember, I chopped this thing off to be a kind of a funky time signature, and I think this is what I chopped off. Right, it's the part right here where it goes to that piano. Yep. So we just have these guys continue, and probably this noise as well. Boop, boop. Oh, excuse me. I'd like you to continue, please. And you as well. We did it! Yeah. Hooray! Cool. I'm feeling great about that, honestly. So then the next step would be to resample these and chop them up. I feel like I want to like spend a little more time listening to how they sound before I do that. And like, so I don't know if I'm gonna like do that now. Also, I think that sounds tedious as heck. At least like, not that this process wasn't, but I kind of want to I don't want to spend more than 15 more minutes because it's getting late and we've been on the stream for a while. But what I do want to do is maybe I want to play around with a little bit of like messing around with this. Have I used retro color in here yet? Have I demoed that?
Retro color.
Does this look familiar to you?
Let's see it. I don't think so.
Cool. Let's play around with this for a minute then. I think this will make a good tail for the stream. So this is a super popular plugin right now. This is like well, maybe not right now. Like I guess it was like a couple years ago when this thing was really hot.
Went out of style, huh?
Well, it went on sale, and that's why.
Oh, I see. that'll do it too.
No, it kind of like launched a whole. There's a whole bunch of people making plugins like this now. Like hop on the bandwagon. Basically, it's a multi-effect like degrading plugin, basically, and it offers these different modules with different options for degrading your sound, essentially. Adding dirt, adding noise, adding pitch fluctuations, basically making things sound more lo-fi.
Okay.
And so like this would be interesting. Like we definitely like hear some pretty dramatic effects, I think, if we run some of what we've got going on through it. So I'd be curious to see what it does to some of our things. So without further ado, here is, it's really cool. It has this magnitude control, which is basically a dry, wet fade for the entire plugin.
No wonder I'm having problems with like how quiet I am. Somehow the -10 dB pad got put on my side.
Why was that? Why? We put a pad on it for some reason. Oh, when we were running sound out of for that stream.
I was wondering like why. Last stream I went back and watched and I was like, why am I so quiet? Like I had it cranked up and
Dang,
like
yeah, there it is, man.
There it is. I just didn't look at the buttons down below.
That's frustrating. Anyways, let's check this out.
Sorry about that.
That's cool. Check this out, y'all. So here's all faded in. So this is now only RC20. Here's dry. And wet. Now this kind of bed of vinyl noise, even though it's sort of like following the envelope of the track, isn't really working for me. So I really like the wobble. I'm pretty fond of unstable pitch.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Used in the right context. Like this isn't the time and place for it, but it's pretty fun. I'm mostly interested in. I'm mostly interested in adding some crunch.
Captain Crunch.
Kind of fun to audition different distortion algorithms real quick. So we got 5 options here.
There's one called Crunch. Is that not the right crunch?
I liked it actually.
Oh.
This is cute. When you turn the distortion up all the way, instead of saying 100%, it says 11. Spinal Tap reference. So right, some of these models are a lot more obvious than others. I think it's kind of interesting here, like the digital things, adding like a little bit of a bit crushing, but like this is like sampled from like a game. Not necessarily the most retro games, but like a little like low bit rate kind of energy. I really like that little bit of high frequencies that it introduces. Can you hear that? So there's a tiny little bit of like weirdly high highs, but like it's kind of sort of what's going on in our original recording.
Huh.
It's a little smoother than that, but I think it's getting. It sounds like the whole thing's just a lot more compressed than this. So let's. I'm gonna pull out another. Well, let's see. What am I gonna pull out? Let's try this thing. I got another new tool recently, also on sale. I only buy plugins on sale. My advice to you. The SSL 4000E channel strip. So I'm gonna use a compressor. Because I think this thing sounds like a little like too open and not like squashed, not nearly as squashed as the other thing. So. Well, now you see if I know how to use this thing. This is like super confusing, I find. I'm new to it though. I've never spent much time working on like real large format consoles. This would all be one vertical strip of a console. It's split into 3 or 4, I guess. Maybe they'd appear side by side. Actually, haven't looked at a picture of one of these in a while. You want to look up an SSL 4000E console? You see what it looks like.
SSL
4000E.
SSL 4000E. Like the real life ones?
Yeah.
Like these?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Things are huge.
Yeah, man.
They're out of stock. That's unfortunate. $45,000.
That's used.
Used, yeah.
That's a good deal.
Fully refurbished.
That's a good deal. I think. But I mean, like, owning something like this, it's like
This is obviously state like pro. Like this is your like full on job.
Yeah,
like
you gotta. Setup. Yeah, totally. You gotta have the need for that many inputs, and you gotta have the need for that many like the thing that's crazy about that is that each of those strips, like, has everything.
Right. Like there.
Like everything. Filter, like high and low pass filters, a compressor, which is what I'm using, an expander/gate, a 4-band EQ, and then like, and every channel has that.
So what kind of like obviously this is hooked up to the computer, right? So like, what kind of
No, this is a pre-computer workflow.
Oh, okay.
This would send to a tape machine.
Okay, so you would record to something separate. You do everything on here. This one.
Yeah, I don't think there's any like I actually don't know, but I there's probably nothing digital about it.
Okay.
Well, like maybe.
I know they got. I just noticed a computer set up with a mouse and stuff. And
yeah, maybe digital controls somewhere. You can see they're running a Mac somewhere. They have the same keyboard I do.
Oh yeah, this one over here.
Yeah. And like Mac users all around the world, they have a non-Mac mouse. Trackballs are still in use in studios because you can set them on your desk.
Aha.
Right. Hey, but hey, look, there's those EQs that I'm using. Yeah. So it's like you.
Wow.
The knobs aren't all in the same places in this plugin, but if you slide your window over, you can see those the red and the white knob next to each other there are over on the right side of my plugin. I can't point at it because I can't see my mouse, but like those guys right there, you know. Mm-hmm. And then there's like the white and green dynamic section below that. Anyways, fun. So I'm doing some basic stuff with this. I'm just cranking the compressor. Yeah, and that's just gonna give it that squoosh. It's funny. I have like a very Ableton comes with a model of the bus compressor from this desk. I'm pretty sure that's what the glue is, but a lot more control over that thing. But I think this is fine. I also feel like this is pretty busy in the mids, so I might like while I'm in here, I got my EQ out. Give my low mid frequencies and see if I can cut some like that 3 or 500 and see if that helps at all. Ah, yes. That region is just so congested. 3 to 5, like I said this at 300. I kind of like it. That might have been a little extreme, though. This is kind of cool. A unique feature of this is I can change this value, and I can option click to reset it to its default, and then option click again to get it back. That's unusual. So if I want to like A/B it with it, I can A/B any of these settings by option clicking it, and it'll reset it and then set it in. Handy. There's a nerdy feature. I have not messed around with. Oh, cool. I've not messed around with these things. They have these knobs called Where is it? The V gain. Oh, and the THD. This lets us add extra color. And the THD knob here adds straight up like model just dirt. You kind of hear it crunching somewhere, like it's like pushing into something. It's getting distorted, and that's got that kind of nasty character more. Right? I'm pretty stoked about that, actually. I think I've done it. So the next step would be to resample these sections, I guess. I said I wasn't going to do too much more of this, so I'll try not to. Oh yeah, I wanted to. Here, I'm not. I'll show you how I'd approach this. Anyways, well, actually, why? You know how to resample. Solo thing you want, hit record, freaking hit record. That's all there is to it. for capturing these, yeah, I can turn off the, oops, it's not there, it's here. So I want that like cut off hard like that, so I can cut it off hard, and then here I'll do it here. Cool. So yeah, that's the trick. So then I would just go through and chop this up just like I chopped these other samples. Here's a fun kind of thing. Compare the waveforms. It's kind of interesting. I know that this doesn't tell you much about how it sounds, but it's pretty dang close.
Yeah.
There's something. Oh yeah, there's some pretty crazy heavy compression going on this track. So anyways, all kinds of problems with the mix here that like I don't want to chase down in front of you on the stream. But I feel accomplished. I think I've done it, Jay. This was something that I've been putting off for a minute because I did, against my better judgment, develop an attachment to this track. And, you know, sometimes it just happens. You don't know. You don't know what's going to stick to your ears.
Yeah.
So, lesson to learn for you. If you, like, I've erred. I'm learning to err on the side of not sampling. As much as I love music that involves heavy sampling,
yeah,
it's just so restrictive that I try not to do it anymore. I'll demonstrate it here on stream because it's interesting to learn about. But like I think like professionally, I'm trying to get away from this. Using phrases. I'll sample sounds, notes, drum hits, because you can't like copyright hitting a snare drum.
right.
But you can copyright the recording of hitting a snare drum, right? But like if you slap enough distortion on it, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so like if I have now, I've done what's called interpolated these samples. So I have replayed them, and it's my own thing. So I now no longer am beholden to the royalties or the copyright around the sound recordings of those things. So that's cool. But I'm using the IP of the composition. I'm transforming it quite a bit, but it's so specifically accurate to that composition that I think that I would lose in court if someone wanted to sue me. So what I will do in my own time, I guess, because this took 2 hours to get here, is rephrase these things. Like, I don't have any great ideas. So it's like, this is what it's gonna be hard because I want to retain the character and like the sort of general shape of these things. The kind of motion, like when things go up, when things go down, when things enter and leave. But I don't want it to be like melodically the same. You can't copyright chords, so you can do that. Although you can lose lawsuits for using the same chord progressions as other people, despite that fact.
Wow.
Dude, it's such a weird world out there. The Blurred Lines judgment, where Marvin Gaye's estate successfully sued them for making a song in the same style of music as Marvin Gaye. Not like covering a song, not using the melody, just like a similar groove to a Marvin Gaye song.
Maybe I just don't hear about it, but I feel like, I mean, the music world is so particular about that. I'm sure it happens with other mediums of art, but like, it feels like it's very prevalent. Maybe we hear about it more in the music world of like the whole idea of stealing someone else's, ideas or their, I feel like there's always something about going on in the industry. Who's suing who about, oh, you used my lyric or you used,
Yeah, well, it's just, I mean, like part of it is that music is derivative. Part of it is that people do just straight up take stuff. Yeah. And a lot of times it's not like a lawsuit. It's like they just like, they get threatened with a lawsuit and then like
get called out and it's all over
and then
social media
and then it gets reported like, oh, there's legal action being taken over, but like all the, they just like someone gets a writing credit added. But like, there's been like it happens a lot where like someone will like do a song, but like they like they like it used a loop of something that they didn't clear, or they like borrowed a line from a lyric or something like that, and then like someone else ends up getting a huge chunk of the profit from that song.
I wonder if it's just that there's like more music media being created that happens more often, that we see it more often. Could that be part of it?
I
Just
think
like
there's some truth to that. I also think that like music's one of those things where like the like what am I trying to say? Well, first off, like you can just incorporate parts of other people's work into your own like really easily. Like so like in visual art, like it's like collage, right?
right.
But like imagine like a collage where you like took like I don't know.
I mean, I could definitely see it. Like, there's things like, say, if you downloaded a free model from Turbo Squid or something, and you like, there's copyright based on, or you bought that model or something, or you, most of the time, if you download a free one, it's like, okay, it's free for non-commercial use. But if you put it in your animation, I guess, I've never heard of it happening, but it's totally possible that somebody could sue you for using their model in your animation or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're using their assets. I think maybe I'm sure that it probably happens a lot in like the game development industry, where you're like downloading, reusing assets. I mean, you can't just like people like rip the assets from Pokemon or something. You can't just reuse the Pokemon models in your own game.
Right.
Same kind of thing. It's still there, So it's interesting though that you definitely hear there's more news and like social media coverage about the music industry and that sort of like legal part of it being like a big deal, because nobody wants to be caught copying someone else's music and and
yeah, it is like I wonder too what it is about it. I think there's partially are like human and cultural relationships in music. I think is kind of unique, like in a sense to other art forms, in that like it's almost like graphic design in a way, like where it's like you don't always know that you're experiencing it, or you're not consciously experiencing it, but we're so like it's like it's pervasive and everywhere.
Right.
But it's also like there, like there's something about melodies and like how like they're like so recognizable.
Yeah.
Where like you like see like a piece of art, you're like, oh, that kind of reminds me of that other person's work, but like like it's really hard, like as like a photographer, you're like you take a picture of someone else's work or something like that, but like things get weird, things get blurry there maybe, but like I don't know. I think in music, because music is often so I said all music is derivative, right? Like every all music builds on the music we've heard before, like you can't like there's so like, and there's only so many notes and there's only so many songs, and if you change, if you're trying to do something that's completely different from what everyone else has done, it's going to sound like that no one has ever done before. Like mostly what's left is like unpleasant sounds, right? Like most of the pleasant sounds have been explored. So like music now focuses so heavily on timbre, like tones, like style, more so than like the content.
Yeah.
Right? Like music's getting, like of all popular music, but a lot of music, like most music people listen to, seems to be trending towards compositional simplicity and then emphasizing more on sounds and sound design. Because you can copyright a recording of a sound, but you can't copyright a like it's like
right. So I wonder if the same applies to like if you're making a film, I could use a lot of techniques that are very well known to other film directors and film my movie like that, and I don't think that you can't like copyright a film technique like if I want to do a dolly shot or a pull focus or pull I'm gonna blank on the name here, dolly zoom. It's like that's not a technique that can be copyrighted. It's like it's used a lot by famous directors,
right?
But it's not. But like I guess if you took the screenplay and like made your own film based on their screenplay, that screenplay is probably copyrighted.
Sure.
So then it would be like.
So like an example from film might be like lifting lines of dialogue, like having
I wonder.
like taking a conversation from another film and putting it in your film.
I've
in a
never
different context.
seen that,
different
but I
because
wonder
why would
how,
you do that? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
You know, like,
it's interesting because there's definitely like it's weird. I wonder what the
I think part of it is that music is so abstract.
right. That's probably it that it gives it so much. Because like if it's obvious as like you and I, like say we filmed a scene from Pulp Fiction or something and like redid it, like refilmed it in here, like with you and I acting it out. It's like we're using the script, but is that
Right. So that's kind of like a musical cover, right? Like so you
like
do
a
like cover
cover.
songs, which is different. It's like slightly different thing, right? Which like,
Different legal
sure.
things behind
Well,
it.
still actually kind of. I mean, this similar.
You're using the lyrics, you're using the
Covering someone's song is totally like with caveat that you have to pay them.
right. You pay. Okay.
You do not need permission though. You have to pay, or whatever, but you do not need permission. But if you use the chorus of their song in your own song, then you do need permission, and you probably also have to pay.
Interesting.
So it's super weird. Like like these laws are designed at the the Recording Industry Association of America and probably a bunch of other large organizations lobby hard for these laws to be written in ways that make sense for their industry or are profitable for people who have money in there. Depending on your cynical outlook on it. Like the MPA, Motion Picture Association of America, is like that's why we got to crack down on piracy.
Right. Yeah. I think that's the big legal thing with movies is the piracy. I mean, I guess it was big for music too, but.
With music, musicians and recording artists gave up.
Yeah, I think Spotify saved that. Like streaming services.
No, they didn't save it. It
did it make it worse?
It made it official.
Oh, that.
It's like
well,
now,
yeah. I mean,
so it's like so basically piracy was like, oh, like like people can choose whether or not to pay for your music, and Spotify was like, well, you could pay us, and we'll let you, instead of if you don't want to use BitTorrent, you just want to use Spotify, like we'll give you all the music you want for free and pay the artist like a fart.
But at least it's like somebody's getting paid somewhere, and it's not.
It's not the artist, so that kind of sucks.
Yeah,
it's just that guy. It's just the CEO who like invests in.
But at least I think the big thing with piracy, at least from my perspective, is just accessibility. Like if you don't have access to it, it's not so much that you maybe you couldn't pay for it, maybe you could pay for it, you just didn't have access to it. It's like when I was younger, like I loved a lot of music from Japan, and I had nowhere to buy it.
Yeah,
I couldn't listen to it anywhere. I couldn't buy it anywhere. What else was like? So like now I just have a Spotify subscription, and all those artists that I used to love listening to are then now on Spotify, and I don't have to go, I don't have to download the music from weird random places. I can listen to them there.
So yeah. I mean, there's good things and bad things for sure.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people though who like I'm a Spotify user, and like I found all sorts of music I love on there that I never would have found.
Yeah. Discoverability is like, I mean, that's just a benefit of, how widespread just accessibility to internet is too. Now it was different 25 years ago, like couldn't really stream Spotify on your dial-up internet or Netflix or anything like that. So
no, it was way faster just to get on Napster and download it.
Yeah.
Man, so Napster was crazy. Napster, for like the year and a half that was active. It's so funny. If you look it up, Napster was only up for like less than 2 years, I think.
Oh, wow.
But it was such an outside, it changed the world. Like, and it was just funny. Man, I mean, I found a ton of music that I love on Spotify. I found so much music I love stealing it on Napster. And then I'd go out and buy it, because you weren't, like, it wasn't like Kaza.
How do you discover that stuff? Yeah, like how do you?
I don't know. You just type in like. I don't even remember like
you see it in a magazine or something like
like how,
or MTV would
how
show
would you find it before yeah you get into like hang around record stores, talk to nerds, listen to the radio, find your like niche college radio stations. But like I've always been into super niche music. But like largely because I found it on Napster and was like, oh, this is cool, and then it was like, oh wait, nobody else I know knows anything about this. Like, how do I find out more about it?
Well, that's
Napster's more.
That's how I feel about films. Like, there's a lot of films that you just can't find anywhere. Like, where if it's not streaming on Netflix or Hulu or whatever, or it's like, where do you find this stuff? Like, not everything's streamed, and there's a lot of old, like, particularly like older stuff. You just can't find anywhere. It's just not streaming. And what do? You like, there's no more rental stores. Like,
Right.
you can't just go rent a movie, and odds are they probably don't have what you're looking for.
Totally.
So it's like, how do I, especially when it comes to watching like films from other countries, like there's nowhere, it's getting better. There's definitely more and more resources for it, but it's still, it's still an accessibility thing. And, I'm sure that there's a lot of places that just won't ever put their films or music online, and you still gotta buy the disc or whatever and buy a hard copy, and it's just the way it's gonna be. So.
Yep. Totally. And like it might be a rational economic move for those people. Like streaming pays really poorly, and if you can
Yeah.
Well,
that's what you guys, like buying a record or something like that's coming back into fashion. It's like if you're a fan, it's like you want to have something like a hard copy of it.
Oh, dude, I'm so stoked.
Yeah.
So this is what I was saying. Like, I have
cool.
a Spotify subscriber, and then when I find something I like, I buy the record.
Yeah. It's at that point, it's a collectible thing. It's something that means, it's a tangible object that you can display or just have for your own collection, just out of, support for. And that way, doing more merch and stuff like that makes a lot of sense to kind of complement the,
Totally.
The streaming stuff. So.
Yeah. So as the flip side of the coin of lamenting the loss of music sales. So okay, just real quick, my experience in a touring band or whatever was 10 years plus ago. I didn't have a smartphone then, and most people didn't that I knew. I'm talking 2008 to 2011 mostly. So shortly after the advent of the iPhone, but it was a niche product. My first smartphone was an iPhone 5C, so that was it took me a while to get one. 2014.
I think I had an HTC or something like that, as some old one that you push the screen. I don't even think it probably wasn't even a smartphone at that point.
Yeah, totally. But anyways, so back in those days, people bought CDs. People bought CDs like crazy. We'd sell tons of CDs. We made a lot of money selling CDs. But I always hated CDs, man. CDs were dumb. I grew up in the piracy and then streaming era, and it's just a file. Why would I buy a plastic disc with a file when I have a hard drive? Do you know what I mean? And so I'd rather buy a T-shirt and.
What about a USB? What about a USB stick with it on there? I don't know.
Yeah, dude, I have so many USB sticks already. I don't want more of those. You know what I mean?
You want the download link, yeah?
I want a download link and then something cool. So I do honestly think that I'd rather buy a shirt with a download link, or a poster.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
I think my rock band is actually going to release our album as we're gonna press vinyl, but the vinyl resurgence in popularity of pressing and releasing and purchasing vinyl has not been matched in a resurgence in the ability to physically produce more vinyl.
Oh, okay.
And so apparently turnaround times are about a year now.
Is that a good business to get into now, huh? Pressing vinyl? Probably takes a lot of equipment, though, huh?
Well, except that nobody's in the business of manufacturing the equipment to manufacture the records. So you have to go and find old equipment and repair it.
Wow. Yeah,
and
that
then
sounds very expensive.
Upkeep it.
Yeah.
While also churning out, keeping up with insanely skyrocketing global demand for records.
Wow.
I'm told that the word on the street is that Adele and Taylor Swift bought out all of the vinyl processing capability and jumped the line, with probably millions of dollars of offering these plants, right?
Wow.
And it
hopefully it will be able to fund them being more productive, have more production capabilities.
More, more business for, more clients is good for the business, right? But it just takes it takes
time.
A long time to scale that stuff up, and maybe is just so impractical. You have to design the factory to build the machines to press the records. Not only are the machines that don't press the records not made, but the stuff that they use to make those machines isn't made either.
So weird. I wonder if there'll be a resurgence of some other technology, VCRs will come back into
tape's already back
in the fashion. Oh, are they?
Audio tape is already back. Yeah, cassettes. And cassettes because they're a little more recent. There's still more of that tech and
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
there's it's totally a thing. A lot of folks I know are releasing tapes, which I think are cool. I don't know. My thing about tapes is that like like they're magnetic and you can they're pretty easy to donk up.
Yeah.
But they're cool and vibey sounding. I feel like the vinyl is a more permanent medium as long as you don't set it on a heater.
Yeah, you gotta keep it. Yeah.
But even like a warped record that gets hot, it's not like melting the grooves really. That's really just like wear and tear when you play.
Right.
The other thing too is I like album art.
Right. Yeah, that's cool.
And I don't like plastic. It just bothers me, the plastic. Although I don't know if
Can you recycle and use recycled plastic in vinyls and records?
I think it's very specific density. I think
specific type of plastic.
I think so. Yeah, you can't just chuck anything in there. But you can cut anything into a record if it's the right kind of material.
Right.
Famously, as a famous example, in Soviet Russia, they would lathe-cut bootleg records onto old X-rays.
Really?
So you can, they're out there these actual X-rays that had So there's a couple different ways to produce a record. God, we're talking about a lot of random crap today. So there's a couple different ways to produce a record. The way that commercial records that we buy are made, they're pressed, right? We talk about record pressing. So there's a mold made from a master, and that master is cut on a lathe. So there's a special machine to cut the master, a special process to make the molds, and then another special process for producing copies from that mold. Mm-hmm. But so with the lathe is it's you get a disc, a spinning disc, and I think they generally cut them on metal. But so it's just instead of it's a needle, but it's a cutting needle.
Right.
And it's a record player in reverse. Most audio processes can be reversed. Speakers are like microphones in reverse. Mm-hmm. Cutting a record is like playing a record in reverse.
Interesting.
But you can also just straight up lathe cut mass produce records. It's very tedious and it's hard to mass produce them, right? But you can just straight up lathe cut it, and you can just batch those. And so that's kind of more old school, simple technology. But it's used to make bootleg records of Western music in Soviet Russia and stuff like that.
Interesting. Yeah, it's a cool technology. I'd love to see it. I'll have to look up and see. I'd probably find a YouTube video how they do it.
Dude,
it's kind of cool thing.
It's super crazy. Also, the craziest part to me is there's the grooves in the vinyl, right? Mm-hmm. They're little valleys. And you'd think that the information is encoded based on how deep that valley is, but it's not. It's side to side.
It's the side. Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty wacky.
Get some probably make a cool album cover. Be a microscopic view of the.
I'm sure you can find some that was that. There's dude macrofying that or some account that just posts macro images. On Instagram.
The vinyl grooves. So it'd be kind of cool.
Totally. Yeah, it's a totally nutty technology. You can do fun stuff with it too, because the needle is just being kind of mechanically being tugged in. It follows the groove, so you can do funky things make the groove not spiral. You can just make it a loop.
Oh. So the needle actually doesn't go off. It just keeps going in a circle. So you can make a loopable vinyl.
It's called a locked groove. Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, I didn't
realize that.
Yeah, I just bought a Quartet record the other day, and it's a lot. A lot of these are digital releases that then get pressed to vinyl, and so vinyl. There's this whole dealing with the sides of it that become an issue. Where the side can only hold so much music,
right?
And you could choose it could be variable, and then there's also the speed that you play back. This whole other concern.
Right.
But anyway, so this release wasn't I don't think originally envisioned as a vinyl release. So it's fits on 3 sides of of 2 LPs, mm-hmm. right? So there's an empty 4th side. So I was what's on this 4th side? Oh. And it's all locked grooves. There's 20 some locked grooves. So you just like drop the needle in a different place and it plays a different loop.
And it just loops over and over.
It's just a loop, yeah.
That's cool.
Like for sampling.
I didn't realize it could do that. Is it just like, can it only do one rotation, or can it like rotate a few times and then like loop itself back to like it follows the groove?
I think it has to be just one rotation.
One rotation. It just
because
stays.
like because if you wanted to loop back, it would then be crossing the other grooves,
right.
you know?
That's
and
true.
That's like a no-no, I think.
It'd be like a weird. Okay.
So like the loops
So
at
the further out would be longer.
Yes.
Interesting.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would
Yes.
make sense because it takes longer to do one full rotation.
Totally. So the flip side of that is like, well, like, doesn't that mean that then like the music slows down towards the middle? Yes.
Yeah.
The cutting speed is different.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Okay, so this is an old school thing to think about, right? But this is like in album sequencing, and like, so you know how albums always start with like the banging most rocking track out the gate, like catch your ears right out the gate?
Yeah.
On an LP, the first track has the most inches per second of vinyl, right?
Yeah.
And the further in you go, the less space there is.
Because this plays it faster. It spins.
Because it's spinning at a fixed rate, but it's got a longer ways to go on the outside. So it's
Right.
So,
Or on the outside, yes.
yeah. So if you're thinking about how that influenced the cutting, like the outer edge of the vinyl is I don't like to use the word resolution because that's not the right. Maybe fidelity is their term, because it's not technically there's not like resolution like digital resolution, but it's like a more higher fidelity, higher resolution, more inches per second.
So more room to have more detail in the grooves and everything like that. So you just have more physical space, more physical, yeah.
So there's a old school album sequencing idea of like that you put the more dynamic or like high energy tunes with like the big hard hitting moments that really need those like transient details captured accurately on the longer ends of the LP.
Very interesting.
So glad I don't have to think about that anymore.
Yeah.
Like what a pain. And also like what a pain being constrained by like that medium. Like,
Oh, man.
In a sense, like not necessarily that big a deal depending on what you're doing, but like cool that we can not be worried about that.
So much analog stuff that I'm so glad that they don't have to deal with. I couldn't imagine like having to develop film here. Like if we did exactly what we did now, like 30 or 40 years ago, this like it'd be so different and like so much more work in it. Like
and it like so much more work to accomplish so much less.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't imagine trying to get film. Like obviously there'd be more resources for that sort of thing just because it's still prevalent. Like getting a roll of film developed, and film wouldn't be it'd be expensive, but not as expensive as like, but then doing actual like cutting film, like physically having to cut film and stitch it together and all that.
Dude,
and like,
cutting audio tape
oh yeah, same.
and stitching together audio tape.
Same thing.
You can't see what frame it is. There's no visual feedback on tape. At least like on vinyl, you can like look at the grooves and kind of see what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually I've been buying a bunch of like techno and like repetitive electronic music, and like you can see the 4 on the floor kick drum on the LP.
Oh, can you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And you can see it kind of like it doesn't line up perfectly. It kind of like drifts. It's, it's like there's no reason that the tempo would line up with the record,
Right.
So it's like you see these like there's like curving diagonal lines like across the record that are like the kick drum. It's pretty
Interesting.
fun. Yeah. Nerd stuff.
Well, I guess we should wrap up.
We really should. We went over. I said I was trying to get out of here like half an hour ago, and then we started talking about something completely unrelated to what we were talking about before. But it's all interesting and all cool. Yeah. Well, I did what I said I was going to do. I replaced the samples in this. I'm not out of the weeds yet here, though.
So do we want to do a part 2 for this one, or you want to wait on it?
I'm not sure. I'm gonna think about that.
Okay.
I don't think that the part 2 of this might be terribly interesting. I'm just going I think what I'm going to do is just tweak a couple of these notes so they're different. Like just a few. I'm gonna keep the same shape of stuff, to kind of when things come and go, because they're gonna get dropped and chopped. Like I need it to sort of work the same way so that it'll drop in the same way.
Okay.
Once it's all like audiofied and stuff, but it could like fit I wrote a new thing for it that like focus, in that middle section here, this part. Ugh, come on. Whoa, that was insane sounding. You want to know why that sounded so wacky? Because I was playing the resampled version at the same time. So it's phasing like crazy with RC20, which is wobbling the pitch. So that sound you're hearing there is two identical crash cymbals we play at the same time with pitch variation. So mute that. So anyways, the accompaniment that I added, which is really more of the focus of this tune at that point, is sort of a reharmonization of the old thing that's based on the upper structure of that and not so much the lower structure. And so like, I think I can remake the lower structure to fit that better and ultimately end up with something that works better for my tune.
Yeah.
I think. But I think I'm gonna have to scratch, like it's gonna be less of a, like, I know what I'm doing and more of like, scratching.
Thinking about it for a while.
Yeah, so I don't know if I'll have to think about whether or not that'll make a good stream topic. But we might dive into something completely different. I was thinking, I've been having a bunch of students who've been asking me about Vital.
Is that another software or a plugin?
It's a plugin. I've used it a little bit on here. This guy, does this look familiar to you?
I think, yeah, this is a fairly newer one, right?
Kind of, yeah.
I think I remember you.
I covered it
a little bit.
I may have talked about it briefly, but I think I want to do a deep dive on it because I'm currently in the middle of doing that. I have a student who that's what we're doing every time we meet, and I'm learning a lot about it. And I'm having great luck making really fun sounds that I've never been able to make before. So I want to share some of that with y'all. So that might be a stream topic coming up.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, basic, like kind of whipping out some bread and butter synth sounds in Vital, and then trying to do some different stuff too.
Coolio.
Something like that. I don't want to talk anymore. I want to get off the stream.
Okay.
I'll let you go home and eat dinner. But we did it.
Sweet. Alrighty, guys. Well, we will catch y'all next week. We'll keep an eye out for our posts on what we're doing. So, yeah. Latest.
Bye-bye.